I don't think he would like all this. I don't. He was too reserved. Like, he was too low key. He didn't want the attention. He didn't like it, but um, I think he'd want people to remember him just for being a genuine person, for just being caring and helpful no matter what was going on. Um, he'd say he's not a hero. He would say that, he was just doing his job. Other people look at it differently. Plenty of people over in Iraq look at it differently. Guys in his unit, our family, look at it differently. If he was still here, he'd say, I'm not a hero. I was just doing my job. I think he'd want to be remembered as, just being genuine and helpful and caring.
It's hard to talk, like, sometimes, like, to think of, it's just been so long. And that's why it was nice to be recognized, because it's one of those things that, even though he's been gone so long, we never forget about him. Like, we talk about him almost daily in our home, about Uncle Cory and even his mom and dad, since they're now passed. Like, we don't ever want our family not to know who they were as people. And our town does a great job of honoring our fallen, and they do a great job with letting people know that they were somebody. They're not just anybody. Just like with the street sign that recently got put up.
Both my grandfathers served in World War II. I had great uncles in World War II that were POWs. Some were airborne infantry as well and jumped into Normandy. Some of my uncles served. Some were drafted, some just enlisted. My father enlisted to be avoided being drafted, so he could kind of choose his path in the Army. And then after he got off active duty, he went to the reserves, and he was in the reserves for probably 10 years of my life. So we'd see him, once a month go off to duty, and in the summer every year go off for a couple weeks, and we just thought it was cool. Dad's in his Army uniform, and he'd bring us home little kid Army outfits every now and again, and we'd wear them for not just trick or treat, but we'd dig his out and wear them around. So serving is just kind of in our family. It wasn't a question really. It was, we just thought it was kind of the next thing to do growing up. So Cory was gung-ho. He just wanted to go Army Airborne Infantry. He wanted to make a career out of it, even before he signed on a dotted line. And once he turned 18, before our senior year, he was at the MEP signing up. And, my mom wasn't necessarily a fan of it, but she supported him. And then especially after 9/11, that's all he wanted to do. And that's kind of when he decided to be airborne infantry, because they were the guys in the fight every day. Didn't matter where or what, they were the guys in the fight.
With the support of both of his brothers, I think he pretty well understood that that's what he needed to do. He didn't necessarily wear his heart on his sleeve, but he took others into mind before he looked at his own position. When he did a personal change of station, when he went out to Washington, out to Fort Irwin, my son rode with him, and we had a conversation before the two had left. Different things that I expected them to take care of, ways I wanted them to watch out for each other, and exactly where to be when they ended their trip.
It was a really good time. We had a lot of laughs. A lot of good memories on that trip.
They actually drove to a very good friend of mine that I served with in the Coast Guard. Him and his girlfriend have a piece of land out on the Greenbelt at Bremerton, and it worked out really well. From my understanding, the decompression that needed to be there after such a long drive, 2,800 miles and change, seemed to work out really well. He put a lot of things in motion in his own life, how he dealt with people.
He was in the 82nd, their rapid deploy unit. He was at Fort Bragg, I was at Fort Lewis, Washington, and I deployed and he didn't. He was upset at me because I was a finance guy, he was infantry, so he should have deployed and I should have stayed home. And the unit he was in just wasn't up for a rotation overseas yet. He supported me, but he was kind of upset because he was infantry and that's his job. He's supposed to go kick down doors, shoot bad guys, save the kids, and I'm just supposed to make sure his pay is good. He wasn't mad at me, he was just kind of upset that I got to deploy before he did.
He was dependable. You could always count on him, no matter if he said he was going to call you, he's going to call you, or whatever it might be. He was just the most dependable person. I'd say the main thing that we do now is we always honor Cory. Like, our girls know Uncle Cory. They see his picture. They talk about Uncle Cory. We don't ever want them to not feel like they didn't have him as an uncle.
He always had extra stuff, extra canteens, extra magazines, extra ammo. Didn't matter. Didn't matter who you were, what you were. He knew what it was to be a little bit less than the other guys, and he didn't want anybody else feeling that way that he'd felt numerous times in his life. We had a long talk in my apartment before he left and told him just stay alert, stay alive, do what you got to do to make it home. Although he didn't come home, he did what he had to do. All the people around the base, his comrades, the guys in his unit, that's all he talked about. When his birthday, June 2nd, was coming up, Mom asked him what he wanted for his birthday, and he said nothing. Just send me coloring books, crayons, and candy for the kids outside of the wire. I give it to him. That's what he wanted for his birthday. And she was boxing it up to send it to him, and then that's when he was killed, and we never got to send that box over there. After his passing, whenever he reached out to us at memorial services, it was soldier to soldier. He was always there. He was there to help out anybody and everybody. He just wanted to do what was best for the country and his guys.
One of the highest compliments I believe Cory received from the individuals he served with over in country was that he had spares. He had spares of everything you could possibly lose. Buttons, blousing strips for your pants. If it was possible that you were going to fail one, he had probably 3 or 4 of them on hand. And that always works out best. You usually don't lose a button until you need it the most.
They treated him as an NCO, as a sergeant. They treated him as a team leader, even though he wasn't a sergeant until after he was killed. It wasn't a case of what was on his chest. It was his heart and how he acted and how he treated everybody. That's what an NCO is. That's how he lived every day.